Saint Augustine, Commentary on Psalm 40, following. Blessed is the man that makes the name of the Lord his hope, and who has not regarded vanities and lying madnesses. For whence is it that madness is called lying? Insanity is a lying thing, even as it is sanity that sees the truth. For what you see as good things, you are deceived. You are not in your sound senses. A violent fever has driven you frenzy. That which you are in love with is not a reality. Thou applaudest the charioteer, you cheer the charioteer, you are madly in love with the charioteer. It is vanity, it is a lying madness. It is not, he cries. Nothing can be better, nothing more delightful. What can I do for one in a state of high fever? Pray ye for such persons, if you have any feelings of compassion in you. For the physician himself also in a desperate case generally turns to those in the house who stand around weeping, who are hanging on his lips to hear his opinion of the patient who is sick and in danger. The physician stands in a state of doubt. He sees not any good to promise. He fears to pronounce evil, lest he should excite alarm. He devises a thoroughly modest sentence. The good God can do all things. Pray ye for him. Which then of these madmen shall I check? Which of them will listen to me? Which of them would not call us miserable? Because they suppose us to have lost great and various pleasures, of which they are madly fond, in that we are not as madly in love with them as they are, and they do not see that they are lying pleasures, and has not respected vanities and lying madnesses. Such a one has worn, he cries, he harnessed such and such a horse, he proclaims aloud, he would fain be a kind of diviner, he aspires to the honors of divination by abandoning the fountain of divinity, and he frequently pronounces an opinion and is frequently mistaken. Why is this? Even because they are lying madnesses. But why is it that what they say sometimes comes true? That they may lead astray the foolish ones, that by loving the semblance of truth there, they may fall into the snare of falsehood. Let them be left behind, let them be given over, let them be cut off. If they were members of us, they must be mortified. Mortify, he says, your members which are upon the earth. Colossians 3:5. Let our God be our hope. He who made all things is better than all. He who made what is beautiful is more beautiful than all that is such. He who made whatever is mighty is himself mightier. He who made whatever is great is himself greater. He will be unto you everything that you love. Learn in the creature to love the Creator, and in the work him who made it. Let not that which has been made by him detain thine affections, so that you should lose him by whom you yourself were made also. Blessed then is the man that makes the name of the Lord his trust, and has not respected vanities and lying madnesses. We will give him other sights in exchange for such sights as these. And what sights shall we present to the Christian, whom we would fain divert from those sights? I thank the Lord our God, he, in the following verse of the psalm, has shown us what sights we ought to present and offer to spectators who would fain have sights to see. Let us now suppose him to be weaned from the circus, the theatre, the amphitheatre. Let him be looking after, let him by all means be looking after some sight to see. We do not leave him without a spectacle. What then shall we give in exchange for those? Hear what follows. Many, O Lord my God, are the wonderful works which you have made. Verse 5. He used to gaze at the wonderful works of man. Let him now contemplate the wonderful works of God. Many are the wonderful works that God has made. Why are they become vile in his eyes? He praises the charioteer, guiding 4 horses, running all of them without fault and without stumbling. Perhaps the Lord has not made such wonderful works in things spiritual. Let him control lust, let him control cowardice, let him control injustice, let him control imprudence. I mean, the passions which falling into excess produce those vices. Let him control these and bring them into subjection, and let him hold the reins and not suffer himself to be carried away. Let him guide them the way he himself would have them go. Let him not be forced away whither he would not. He used to applaud the charioteer. He himself shall be applauded for his own charioteering. He used to call out that the charioteer should be invested with the dress of honor. He shall himself be clothed with immortality. These are the spectacles, these the sights that God exhibits to us. He cries out of heaven, "My eyes are upon you, strive and I will assist you, triumph and I will crown you." And in your thought there is none that is like unto you. Now then look at the actor, for the man has, by dint of great pains, learned to walk upon a rope, and hanging there he holds your hanging in suspense. Turn to him who exhibits spectacles far more wonderful. This man has learned to walk upon the rope, but has he caused another to walk on the sea? Forget now your theatre. Behold our Peter, not a walker on the rope, but so to speak, a walker on the sea. And do thou also walk on other waters, thou not on those on which Peter walked to symbolize a certain truth. For this world is a sea, it has a deleterious bitterness, it has the waves of tribulations, the tempests of temptations, it has men in it who, like fish, delight in their own ruin and prey upon each other. Walk thou here, set thou your foot on this. You would see sights, be yourself a spectacle, that your spirit may not sink. Look on him who goes before you and says, "We have been made a spectacle unto this world, and unto angels, and unto men." 1 Corinthians 4:9. Tread thou on the waters, suffer not yourself to be drowned in the sea. You will not go there, you will not tread it under foot, unless it be his bidding, who was himself the first to walk upon the sea. For it was thus that Peter spoke, "If you are, bid me come unto you on the waters." Matthew 14:28. And because he heard him when praying. He granted his wish to him when expressing his desire. He raised him up when sinking. These are the wonderful works that the Lord has made. Look on them. Let faith be the eye of him who would behold them. And do thou also likewise, for although the winds alarm you, though the waves rage against you, and thou human frailty may have inspired you with some doubt of your salvation, you have it in your power to cry out. You may say, Lord, I perish. Matthew 14:30. He who bids you walk there suffers you not to perish. For in that thou now walkest on the rock, you fear not even on the sea. If you are without the rock, you must sink in the sea, for the rock on which you must walk is such an one as is not sunk in the sea. Observe then the wonderful works of God. I have declared and have spoken, they are multiplied beyond number. There is a number, there are some over and above the number. There is a fixed number that belongs to that heavenly Jerusalem. For the Lord knows them that are his, to Timothy 2:19. The Christians that fear him, the Christians that believe, the Christians that keep the commandments, that walk in God's ways, that keep themselves from sins, that if they fall confess, they belong to the number. But are they the only ones? There are also some beyond the number, for even if they be but a few in comparison of the numbers of the larger majority, with how great numbers are our churches filled, crowded up to the very walls, to what a degree do they annoy each other by the pressure, and almost choke each other by their overflowing numbers. Again, out of these very same persons, when there is a public spectacle, there are numbers flocking to the amphitheatre. These are over and above the number. But it is for this reason that we say this, that they may be in the number. Not being present, they do not hear this from us. But when you have gone from hence, let them hear it from you. I have declared, he says, and have spoken. It is Christ who speaks. He has declared it in his own person as our head. He has himself declared it by his members. He himself has sent those who should declare it. He himself has sent the apostles. Their sound is gone out into all lands, and their words unto the ends of the world. How great the number of believers that are gathered together! How great the multitudes that flock together! Many of them truly converted, many but in appearance, and those who are truly converted are the minority. Those who are so but in appearance are the majority, because they are multiplied beyond the number. These are the wonderful works of God. These are the thoughts of God, to which no man's thoughts are like. That the lover of sightseeing may be weaned from curiosity, and with us may seek after those more excellent, those more profitable things, in which, when he shall have attained unto them, he will rejoice. Sacrifice and offering you did not desire, verse 6, says the psalm to God. For the men of all time, when as yet the true sacrifice, which is known to the faithful, was foreshown in figures used to celebrate rites that were figures of the reality that was to be hereafter, many of them understanding their meaning, but more of them in ignorance of it. For the prophets and the holy patriarchs understood what they were celebrating, but the rest of the stiff-necked people were so carnal that what was done by them was but to symbolize the things that were to come afterwards. And it came to pass, when that first sacrifice was abolished, when the burnt offerings of rams, of goats, and of calves, and of other victims had been abolished, God did not desire them. Why did God not desire them? And why did he at the first desire them? Because all those things were as it were the words of a person making a promise, and the expressions conveying a promise, when the thing that they promise is come, are no longer uttered. Those sacrifices then, as being but expressions of a promise, have been abrogated. What is that which has been given as its fulfillment? That body which you know, which you do not all of you know. Which of you who do know it, I pray God, all may not know it, and unto condemnation. Observe the time when it was said, for the person is Christ our Lord, speaking at what time for his members, at another in his own person. Sacrifice and offering, said he, you did not desire. What then? Are we left at this present time without a sacrifice? God forbid. But a body have you perfected for me. It was for this reason that you did not desire the others, that you might perfect this. Before you perfected this, you desired the others. The fulfillment of the promise has done away with the words that express the promise. For if they still hold out a promise, that which was promised is not yet fulfilled. This was promised by certain signs. The signs that convey the promise are done away, because the substance that was promised is come. We are in this body. We are partakers of this body. We know that which we ourselves receive, and you who know it not yet will know it by and by. And when you come to know it, I pray ye may not receive it unto condemnation. For he that eats and drinks unworthily eats and drinks damnation unto himself. 1 Corinthians 11:29. A body has been perfected for us. Let us be made perfect in the body.